Hello, I'm RetroJules. One of my last games in the T-54 lightweight. I have loved this tank and absolutely no way am I getting rid of this tank either. We're on Royal Khan Golf Links. It's an encounter battle and I'm gonna play straight across the ridgeline and see how many enemy I can spot. I've got binoculars on this tank. I found that gave me excellent flexibility. The .42 accuracy on the lightweight was never a problem. Wasn't really ideally suited to long range sniping, but I found with the binos it just gave me the option to do that with optics, to just generally spot on the move, and vents just to mop up anything else and just help out with any other bits and pieces on the tank, like reload times and view range, etc, etc. This has been such a brilliant tank. If you see me with a tank with camouflage, you know it's absolutely a keeper. But this is a bittersweet tale that by purchasing the T100 I know that I'm going to have to move this crew into the T100 to stand any chance at tier 10, which will sadly leave my T54 in the garage with no crew. A very, very sad state of affairs indeed, knowing that I'm going to have to regrind a crew in the T54 lightweight, but I think it's a tank that is worth keeping and putting a crew in and getting them back up to speed. So 6 tanks spotted, nothing else really achieved. Could have really given that British heavy a little bit of a push up the hill just to get it into game, but I didn't. A little bit rude, really. Always easy to look back at your gameplay and realise what you could and should have done, but in the heat of battle, who knows how the decision making is going to go. There's an AT round the corner. And this is kind of gameplay that really suits the future T100, by just getting round an enemy quickly, circling it, and just being there when it can do absolutely nothing. And this poor AT at tier 8 does not stand a chance. Oh dear. So 6 tanks spotted still, 3 penetrating, 3 damage ribbons should I say, and that's about it for the minute. The enemy are attempting a cap. And I think to myself, well, I reckon at J9 or thereabouts there's going to be a juicy red square which has no idea I am on my way. Had it looked at the mini-map and seen that entourage of heavy tanks coming down the 8 line, any sensible arty player would be on the move and hiding in the town right now. But I'm hoping it hasn't. Maybe it's not watching the mini-map, maybe it hasn't got the mini-map, maybe it uses the compass. We will find out as I come over the top of this hill. And there it is. One shot in. Yeah, you didn't know I was coming, mate, did you? I'm always going to hunt the juicy red squares. And it panics to try and shotgun me. Kills a family of moles in the process. And we get our first kill, which is the red square. Stop the game. Happy now. RT's down. I'm chuckling away to myself. Don't really care what happens now, but that would be a little bit selfish. We are 3 tanks down, and my plan is to come round the back of the cap and try and get some nice shots into the enemy, who are going to be facing in the opposite direction to me, which is just how I like the enemy to be. Not overly keen when I see the front of their cannon. I would much rather see the back of their turret and their engine. any time of day. Right, got a heavy coming up. What is it? It's a Tiger P. And this is the sort of gameplay, if I was playing a Tiger P, that would have me throwing my controller around the room, because this poor Tiger P, not only is it 2 tiers down, it just can't do a thing. It doesn't have the manoeuvrability, it doesn't have the turret traverse. This tank does not stand a chance. The only chance it would have stood is if it reversed up to the rock and not allow me to go all the way round. But that poor Tiger P has had its day, and I am chuckling and sniggering to myself because I would be so annoyed if that happened to me. And here we go, here's the tanks with their backs to me. Retro, move, 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 move. That cannon's come. Don't wait for the cannon to face you, get out the way first, man. And this game actually isn't looking great right now. So I relocate because I know that E75 knew where I was, but nobody seems to be heading this way. They are engaging, the last 2 heavies we've got. It's going to come down to Retro versus 2 platoons. Nice shot in the E50. There's the E75 on a smidge of health. Conqueror on full health. Well, not any longer. But this is going to... and it is down to me. They know where I am. They're not capping. If you were in a platoon and there was a light tank, you guys would go out and find that light tank. You do not want to win by a cap. So my plan is to relocate and try and get into the town and come right round the other side of the map, and hopefully I can do that undetected to stand any chance. I don't think I stand much chance, and that bat chat seems in an awful hurry to come my way. There's an E50, bit of a mistake here. Kind of auto aim because it goes orange, and I think I'm kind of aiming for its lower glacis, but an auto aim on a front on E50 was never a wise idea. Should have aimed that really, but then I'm panicking a bit. I'm trying to stay on the move. I'm doing my best. I'm gonna go down fighting. My plan didn't quite work. There's that bat chat that was in a hurry to see me, and well, I got the bat chat, but I was taken out. Well, I never quite made it to the town to get out of the way, get out of their view range. But I had a good go. And how did we do overall? A very respectable 4,000 damage, a 2nd class mastery badge, 46,500 silver, 3 tanks destroyed, and Retro comes top. So with much regret, it was time to purchase the the regret wasn't buying the T100, the regret was taking the crew out of my T54 lightweight. Absolutely suicidal to roll out a tier 10 tank without a half decent crew. I did toy with the idea. I was very tempted to leave my crew in the lightweight because I'm keeping it. I do not believe that the T100 is a direct replacement for the T54 lightweight. They are 2 quite different tanks, I think. So I'm keeping it. So, yeah, 75% crew. There's no way I'm paying gold for 100% crew on this. I'm quite happy to have quite a few crap games until my crew are fully trained. And then I shall continue having pretty crap games with my 100% crew, knowing me. But luckily, when I bought this tank, camouflage was half price. And if I buy a tank that I know I'm going to keep, and I knew I was going to keep this one, absolutely going to camo it up because they look amazing with camo on. And I quite like my 4% camo bonus in a light tank too. And then it's time for the equipment. Absolutely no way am I putting binos on this tank. This tank does not stay still. You do not hide this tank. Generally, it's very much a tank on the move. So optics, vert stabs and vents are how I set this up, and that seems to work quite nicely for me. I officially have my first tier 10 light tank, the T100 Soviet light tank. Absolutely awesome. I love this tank, and I do believe as I roll out in this game that my crew are 100% trained, equipped with optics, vert stabs and vents, and the crew have brothers in arms, reconnaissance, situational awareness, sixth sense, camouflage, muffled shot, snapshot, smooth ride, and they are training in off-road riding, because this tank is crap in the mushy stuff and you really want to keep this tank on the move. And this game is all about me keeping this tank on the move and really pushing my luck. If you were a fan, or still are, a fan of the ELC AMX BIS, especially before it was nerfed, and you loved racing around like an idiot, watching people miss and try to hit you on the move, then you will love this tank. It doesn't have the effective firepower that the BIS has, but it's that manic, frantic, always on the move gameplay that is really, really hilarious. But of course, you do need to be very, very aware of the map and very aware of the terrain that you're driving on, because it is easy to cock up so many times in this tank. I had plenty of inconsistent training games in this. In fact, I'm probably quite an inconsistent tanker. Well, actually that's not true. I am consistently crap. I just can't always be consistently good, but that's the way things are. So I have managed to spot 12 tanks, and I was really quite enjoying this, because I thought, what are the chances of me spotting the entire team, all 15 tanks? I've never done it, and that was suddenly my mission. Even if I was going to sort of suicide, I just thought I would love to say that I spotted the entire team. And there's a complete opening. They've left the cap pretty much open to me. Just saw the RT shot. I know where RT is. I know there's a TD up on that hill too, but I can't help myself. There's a red square on the horizon. What's a man to do? My 13th spot. I was only 2 tanks down from spotting the entire team. It's as close as I've ever been. And it all goes a little bit wrong. So this Foch completely underestimated how quickly it can turn and track me. It misses its shot, and I was auto-aiming. Yes, you know, I've admitted I am an auto-aim fiend. I do it. And having known that that tank destroyer had taken its shot, I could have afforded to slow down and aim properly and get that shot in, because any shot on the front of that Foch was going to bounce. And that Foch is going to be a bit of a nemesis for me, because I'll be going back for it later, and it's not a nemesis because it's a good player. It's not a nemesis because it's a good tank. It's a nemesis because I really played it stupidly and just didn't think it through. And that's the joy of watching your gameplay back. I've been doing it for 2 years now, and you really do learn from your mistakes. Doesn't always mean I correct my mistakes, but when you watch their game back, you do learn from them. So going back for the Foch, and this game's pretty even. We're only 1 tank down. I'm on 2/3 of my health. And I decide to try and take that Foch out. And all I need to do with that Foch is track it. That's all I need to do. And if it's got a repair kit, then I just track it again. So it gets a shot in, I know it's fired, and what am I doing? All I had to do was track it. But no, I'm just this moving target, trying to stay on the move, and this is one of the faults, one of many faults probably when I play this tank, is I get a bit manic with it and I get a bit carried away thinking that I've got to keep it on the move because it is the most effective on the move because it is a difficult target to hit. But this is where, no, track it, Retro. Well, I know where the weak spot is, it's up there, but had I tracked it and kept moving, originally, I could have probably been on much better health than I am now. Anyway, by hook or by crook, that Foch is taken down, and I made a real meal of that. And the enemy are absolutely encroaching on our cap. And they're capping. So I see that I've not got a lot of choice because there are so many tanks out there, and I think, well, I need to start capping, and if our guys can keep resetting, then we're going to have to win by a cap, and that is an option I choose. There's 2 enemies in the cap, and I'm just hoping that after, yep, and they've reset the cap, and I'm going to sit here, probably for the duration of the game, or until I know it's safe to move. All the enemy are at the cap. Our guys are coming back from the city. They keep resetting the cap. And then, hurrah. I hate winning by a cap. Unless, of course, there's loads and loads of enemies. And then I think it's completely hilarious to do it. Especially when there's lots of slow, heavily armoured heavies who can't possibly get back to the cap in time, and you're sat there in your little tinfoil light tank chuckling away thinking they're gonna lose this. So back to the cap to see what we can do. I am really enjoying this tank. I have got to learn to calm the game down a little bit and not just race around like an idiot and try and bring a little bit more strategy into the game. But I am thoroughly enjoying it. And I would say that spotting 13 tanks is damned effective scouting. 10 assisted hits. Just picking up my 3rd easy kill there with a very easy auto-aim snapshot. This tank is absolutely awesome at shooting on the move with auto-aim on, which is probably why it suits me so well. 1 IS-7 left. And I play this just a little bit carefully because once I take a shot, the chances are the IS-7 will realise I'm there. That shot bounces. And I don't want to move in too close. I probably could. But I kind of wanted to stay alive for this one. And I just thought, if that IS-7 turns its attention to me for an easy kill, I don't want to be too close. But in fact, on reflection, I could have just zoomed up behind it and just blasted some shots in its bottom. But we win. Hurrah! 13 tanks spotted, 10 assisted hits, 8 damage ribbons. How do we do overall? 5,000 combined damage. An ace tanker. Brilliant. Happy with that. 4 tanks destroyed. And how did we do overall? Oh, we came 2nd. That was an enjoyable, spotting, frantic, fun game. So while I cry about my poor T-54 lightweight sat in the garage without a crew, we have to embrace and enjoy my new, very well trained crew in the T-100. The accuracy has got worse by 0.04. The T-54 lightweight was 0.42. This is 0.46. I found the T-54 lightweight was a good sniper. As with all Russian tanks, they are better at close to mid-range, and this T-100 is very much that case, but I found the lightweight was effective enough and I never had a problem with the accuracy of its gun. This, however, is a real problem if you try and snipe from long distance. But its dispersion between the shots, its dispersion on the move is excellent, and absolutely shooting on the move is what this tank does best. It's got the same gun depression of -5. We lose 2 degrees of gun elevation, which doesn't seem to cause any problems. It's half the weight of the T-54 lightweight, only weighing in at 15 tons, and we've gone from a 5-man crew down to a 3-man crew. This tank is fast. It's the same top speed as the lightweight, but its acceleration is amazing. It gets up to its top speed incredibly quickly, and I do believe that this tank has got the highest power to weight ratio of any tank in the game. It's amazing and very much suited to big open maps such as this. I have not had much joy with this tank in the cities at all, because I just like to race around like a loony, auto-aiming at everything, trying to get assisted damage. And that's why I'm showing you this game, because I'm going to be playing this plane of death, the suicide plane out here, and absolutely there's no way that I can be out there and be static. I have got to stay on the move, and the idea is I wanted to keep the enemy lit up for the 3 tank destroyers I've got behind me. But I'm going to auto-aim and fire on the move at a distance which does not suit this tank. It is too far away. However, it's amazing how many shots do hit their target if the target is relatively static. But I do have to, I've got to fine-tune my gameplay. I've been playing this tank a lot, and I'm really quite good at this manic on the move gameplay, but the trouble is I tend to get a little bit carried away, and I don't recognise the point to where I should actually stop in a safe place and start aiming properly. And I have lost a few clutch games because of that inability to just assess the game and think, hang on Retro, stop racing around like an idiot and start playing the game, start tuning in, work out your strategy, slow down, find a bush, think, and start aiming at the enemy. So we've got the tank destroyer and a light tank over yonder, and I'm just keeping them lit up. The fact with 0.46 accuracy that shell even lands on the map, let alone hitting that TD while I'm on the move. And this is what this tank does. It's absolutely brilliant at it. It's definitely its strength, and me being that auto aim king kind of suits my game style really. So I just keep on the move, letting our team do the work. Spotted half the team so far, a little bit low with 5 assisted damage, 2 damage ribbons, 2 critical. It's a little bit on the weak side, and another load of ribbons come flying in as I spot the vehicle, get a shot in, and our team gets some shots in too. And the ribbons are just increasing at a wonderful rate at the moment, and I am just auto-aiming, moving, firing, and it just works. I mean, Artie is actually on the move and still managed to get a kill shot while I'm on the move. This tank is awesome, and this is the range that it's good at. That close to mid-range is where you can really rely on this gun working on the move. But however, when you then come up against another T100 who is also on the move, then it doesn't work. As we all know, auto-aiming at something on the move, you've really got to time your shot well as the tank changes direction if you've got any hope of that shot going in. And we're both staying on the move because I don't fancy taking any hits, and it's taken out by somebody else. IS-3 up by the church. Do I go in for the kill? What am I thinking? I can't remember. I'm thinking I don't have to worry about that IS-3 now because it's been taken out. And we're capping. the game is, well, it's quite even, but they've got a lot of heavies. And for some reason, well, I take a hit. And then I'm thinking, well, actually, maybe I'm going to cap 2. Can't really remember the reason for it. And I remember trying to coax our T-54 lightweight down here where it's safe from gunfire. It's staying on the move, but I was just like, follow me, mate. Just come down here in this dip. You're safe. No, don't go bumping into our team. And yeah, tank destroyers are going negative, negative. Yeah, I agree. I don't really want to win this game by capping because surely we have the advantage, but I don't remember why I didn't leave the cap. And sadly, we're going to win this game by a filthy cap. But I just wanted to show you how effective this tank can be firing on the move with auto aim on. So how did we do overall? Very respectable, almost 64 grand in silver, 6,000 combined damage, class 2 mastery, 1 tank destroyed, and retro comes top. Really pleasing, manic on the move, auto aim game. Well, I hope you enjoyed seeing me get my first tier 10 light tank, the Soviet T-100, the pancake tank, an absolutely awesome, very, very fast tank. I'm really enjoying it. I do have to rein in my gameplay. I've got to just try and calm things down a little bit. I do get carried away, but it is such a lot of fun. Keep safe, keep tanking, and I'll see you soon.